Watch the entire video, my lovely viewers, from start to finish, to get the whole thing. Without wasting much of your time, let's get right into it.
This is DJ Mutati exclusive.
Hi lovely viewers, it's me again, your one and only Mutati Mpundu. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time on my channel, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel by hitting the subscribe button down below. Turn the bell icon to join the notification squad. Don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment. Tell me what you think about this video in the comment section below. I'll be super glad to hear from you lovely viewers.
Hello, please make your contributions.
My contribution is that Tavuti Zambia
Your name, my brother.
Fuel used to buy fuel per 17 kwacha hapa ni 35. Mabloko tezekula mabloko yomangira manyumba 4 kwacha hapa manje ni 12 kwacha. Cement tezekula pa 115 110 hapa manje ni 180. Where are we going as a country? Imani mtaoni kulipe drama kulipe no ma businesses wanataka menezo yezo pesa that basakira kwenda kupasa ma businesses kulipe ukadanda ulako chabeni tio pana kukamba. So tipe mpako please titandizireni, otherwise we are in trouble. Some families yatu yambiri yachetekera ife tavenangu but apa ife ngatitilipe tisatandisika bwanji. So please tandizirengoni please wantu wa Mungu, we are in prayers each and every time. Mulungu atite rescue, otherwise we are in trouble. Mulungu atitandizira chapa, otherwise our country is at mess.
Okay, thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you. Please call on 0973-078082. The printer of our money is not known. And 2, we are discussing President Hakainde Hichilema's proposed re-election. He says you should re-elect him so that he can grow the economy and that he can double its size. Make your contribution. Okay, there's another call. Hello, please make your contribution. Tell us your name and and make your contribution.
Good evening, Mr. Mwamba.
Good evening.
Yeah, speaking to Brian. I'm following your program.
Okay.
You've touched a number of issues. I followed in particular when you spoke to the issue of education. And how the standards seem to have gone down, because we seem to have this overload in terms of the number of pupils in the class versus the teachers who are available, classes, even the issues of maintenance. I remember even way back in my days, when we were paying tuition fees, we still had serious issues of maintenance. Our parents would even tell us not to use ablution blocks from the schools because we were poorly maintained, even with the income that was going in to maintain. I can imagine how bad the situation is, seeing that even the little that the teachers or the schools were making from what they were charging has now been taken away. I think that government really needs to find a way to help raise the standards for our schools. I was at Luvuto Secondary School, by the way, and one of the things that one teacher mentioned to us was Luvuto was built by the World Bank, and when they built that school, it had an expiration time when they said after a certain period of time, according to their records, that school would not exist. Meaning they looked at the resources that had put in the school. But with the fees and everything that was being paid, you can imagine, we can say that the school was maintained. Now that schools cannot raise money, we really need to sit down as a nation. Government needs to plan an alternative on how they can help schools to maintain good hygiene standards, making sure that there's quality learning in these schools. Otherwise, it would defeat the whole purpose of education like that. That was my contribution.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Make your cause, make your cause.
Dialogue is the way we should solve our problems at all times. When we fail to do that on our own, we seek the help of others. Then we'll be called a civilized society, not a society in perpetual conflict. It's an opportunity to turn a new page, to learn our lessons. I want to agree with Mr. Banda, Chifu Banda. This government has doors open for dialogue. Let's exercise that opportunity. Let's use that opportunity to dialogue. But dialogue maturely. You can't come to the table of dialogue through insults. It's not possible. The important thing is that when we've lost a colleague like her, we act responsibly as a nation. We don't use the death of a person to paralyze ourselves, to create more anguish to the children. It's an opportunity to reflect. I actually think society is not measured by the number of conflicts that arise. Society is measured by the maturity in how we deal with the issues.
Okay, you can call us, join the debate. Today we want to end at the hour on the dot. Join the debate. You can call on the numbers that have been listed below there. You call us on WhatsApp. You reach us and let's hear your contribution to these two matters we're discussing, of the printer who is not known, and on the issue of President Hakainde Hichilema's re-election. What has he done to deserve even a consideration of his re-election? In fact, some strategists have stated that if President Hakainde Hichilema stood a chance of winning, if the UPND stood a chance of winning the 2026 elections, they should get another candidate. They should get Gary Nkombo or whoever they can pick because the president's name is a bit damaged with the promises he's never delivered. So he just can't come afresh and pledge more promises with a litany of unbroken promises behind. Good evening. Tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Gilbert calling. Good evening, Ambassador.
Good evening. Please make your contribution, Gilbert.
Yes, I'm actually want to contribute with a statement made by the president to say if he will be given another chance, he's going to do wonders. In my view, that statement is very premature. At the same time, it's like the president doesn't know the political mood or what Zambians are going through. You know, ngamwabasana proudness into sometimes the ema consequences are in asangwa. You know, the president sometimes you discovered that but I start praise no, this is what I've done. This is what I've done. Look at now where we have reached as Zambian. There is nothing that you can point out to say this is what they have done. Bamwamba, Northern Province. I'm calling you from Northern Province. All the major projects have been put on hold, and I don't know why Bamwamba, you have never talked about. You have written a lot of articles, but you have actually left something which I wanted also to share with you. It's good that Nami Monalelo. Bamwamba, there are some feeder roads. In fact, majority some feeder road which was given to contractors during PFLU, which was cancelled just after UPN formed government. You remember very well.
I know.
The Minister of yes.
Honorable Chitotela listed them in Parliament that you have cancelled road projects and feeder roads in northern Luapula, eastern Mchinga provinces.
Luapula and Eastern Province.
And then you have upheld.
Let me just go much in north.
Yeah, you have upheld the construction of roads, for example, in Western Province, Monguli, Mulunga, and the other roads. Yes, I'm aware.
Yes, you are aware about. And I wanted also to start writing on those issues because what is happening.
Okay.
But there is a road from Mpolokoso to Kawamba, which was given, and the contractor was given that project. That project has been cancelled. There is a project Kaputa Mpolokoso Road, which was given by the China Jewel. Initially, after they were given that project, they were told to start actually doing a gravel road. When the government would mobilize money, that's when now they were going to do the new construction. That road has been cancelled. Those Chinese, they had they started to construct from Mpolokoso up to Mpundu, up to Nsumbu. They have not touched Mpundu to Kaputa. And that project was cancelled.
But even that road from from Mpolokoso to Nsumbu now ni gravel base belefie tabayibika patamak.
Yes. But PF government gave it to China to do a gravel road.
Yeah.
From Mpolokoso to Mpundu get up to Kaputa. They only did Mpolokoso to Mpundu gate. Mpundu gate to Kaputa. After the new government, they cancelled that project. This time, you can't go to Kaputa.
Oh my.
Where Madam Mango is coming from. You can't go to Kaputa. The road is impassable. Even that Elvis Nkandu is making a lot of noise. He has done literally nothing. Literally nothing in Kaputa. The Mpolokoso Kawamba road has been cancelled. There are some major, Mafida road which was given which has been cancelled by UPND, and no one is talking about. Talk about that hospital. You are construct
Kuluingu, Kulupososhi.
Yes, Kulupososhi. You are not talking about that, Bamwamba. Please, can you? I want to know the province. I am a project. Some of this project, we need to remind them on what has happened to this government.
Yeah.
So for HH to come to say you need to have it will be a miracle if you go through. Because it will be a miracle. Even in people are not even happy to say that. That's why they cannot even disclose who printed that money and where they did the advertisement and what. It's because of the quality of the money. You can't love it, Bamwamba. You can basically, please, Northern Province. We have talked a lot about Copper Belt.
Yeah.
Muchinga, Northern Province and Luapula, Tamulelanda Posana, despite a project of PF Bashir, and Pia Bali Bikirem. I talk about Kasomeno Mwenda Bridge. One is even talking about it. In Mwense district.
Yeah.
Please, can you start speaking on behalf of this? If you are moving from Kasama to Mpulungu, the road is impassable.
Oh my.
You can't have it. The road is impassable from Kasama to Mbala. Road nayo naika. We don't even know if it will go beyond the 2026. I want to know. Ikaba phenomenon gravel road. When Takofe maybe probably up to 2 to 3 kilometers more, feeling diffio. Muliko fena mimananesa we very soon mwala mpaka jabalaka mkusumbia mwesa. We are talking about Kasama
Mbala Road. Up to Mpulungu.
Road. And this road during the PF, whatever every time, you know what they did? They advertised to say what they want to do. They want to actually start repairing this road. They gave my UPND cadres. They don't know what man has been given to them. There is literally nothing.
There is nothing they are doing on infrastructure. There's nothing they are doing on infrastructure.
Please, Bamwamba, when you be writing articles, me, I do follow you, and whenever, you know, by UPN they used to insult. This time they cannot be, because you are telling them truth. You discovered that me to almost on daily basis. Each time, I think this man has got data.
Yeah.
I've also got I want also to talk about this issue yaba CEC. Honestly speaking, if you are a really Zambian, nangufyo UPND kada walishinko mutwe. You know the shareholders of abakwata shares mu CEC. Now some of their cabinet ministers, they want to actually get my shares from KCM. Government KCM you cannot resolve all my issues. Why taking the same route? There is some ministers who have got shares in the same company. I'm sure it was a UPND card. At least you can be able to see
Natasha Sana, thank you very much. Yeah, the matter is talking about is where CEC has obtained another court order to seize assets. CEC is the Copper Belt Energy Company, the former ZCCMIH electricity department. It was bought under privatization and management buyout, and some of the owners, like he says, are ministers like Charles Milupi and others. And he's saying now they've got an order from court to seize the assets of KCM. Is this a way of grabbing the mine, KCM, valuable mine, one of the biggest mines in Africa? Is this a backroom short way? Because we know that KCM owes up to $1.5 billion. And the debt owed to CEC is just one of the smallest debt. The biggest debt is to ZRA, to ZESCO, NAPSA, and other entities. CEC owes, KCM also owes CEC, but the amount is not as large as the one to ZRA. To the bank, for example, a Standard Chartered Bank, which is a $700 million, we know. So CEC, to seize the assets of KCM. What about the other creditors? So we need to watch that space. Someone may be using that process to enrich and grab unfairly KCM. Sorry, when there was the other caller, I think I missed about 6 phone calls. Please call. The line is free now. Please make your calls and contributions. Oh, how come the video is not playing?
Meeting, and I say, hey, HH, we meet many African politicians. We don't hear them present themselves the way you have. We know you're credible. Your party is credible. We support you. We're with you. And we pledge. One group alone, my friend, pledged $1.5 billion of investment. And they said, HH,
Take notes. You are sworn in today. Within 10 days, we will announce.
Good evening. Let's hear your name and your views about the subjects we are discussing.
Yeah, just call me Mr. X. I'm from Chipata.
Thank you, my dear brother. Make your contributions.
Yes, Wamamba. I've been following your program right from the beginning up to where it is right now.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, to an extent, I find you to be a very complicated man. In that, in other issues, you're a little bit objective. But when you're addressing other issues, you're putting, in fact, you're putting your personal interest first. Like, for example, where you talked about the Bank of Zambia notes, of course, the members of the general public have noticed that there are a lot of errors there. And Bank of Zambia is obliged to make an explanation or rather to tell us exactly what transpired for them to design those notes in the way they were designed. But again, you've talked about the failures of the UPND and also the failures of President Hakainde Hichilema. You know, I'm a problem solved. They have a background, and to an extent, you are part and parcel of these problems that the country is facing today. Because most of this mess, it was created by you and your colleagues. Then when I go Korea Shiriam, you know, history has it. Most of these funerals that we have had, especially for dignified government officials, they've been held and to an extent, you know, I did now, of course, and then they were, you know how the government operates. I don't think they forced, or rather they just said, I'm sure they were in discussion with the family, and then they reached at a point where they collectively agreed to say, no, we are supposed to go that route. So if you think to Mwamba, the viewers of the politicize, we think to go objective. And we have had a lot of dignified, or rather former government officials, Ama State funerals, Cathedral, including Ama State funerals, Ama staunch Catholics. Okay? So some of these things, let's be objective. But again, also, much as you may be explaining about the failures of the current government, you should as well take time to explain about the background, or rather the reason why we find ourselves in this mess. But again, we've heard the Republican president saying, no, he should be given another mandate to grow the economy. You know, Bamwamba, you've been there longer than I. As for me, I'm a layman. I think as for you have a better understanding of a lot of issues. If your memory serves you well, Mwanawasa was, during Mwanawasa's tenure, especially the first term, it was hell on earth. And Mwanawasa was called all sorts of names, including one of the names, in fact, that was, he was nicknamed, may he so rest in peace, he was nicknamed Cabbage. The reason is very simple. The economy was pathetic that time. But Mwanawasa told those Zambians to say, no, it's high time we tightened our belts. Of course, I'm not promising heaven on earth. Life will be difficult, but give me space. Okay? And then more second time we go Mwanawasa. We saw a lot of things happening. So if UPND doesn't continue, who do you think should take over from UPND? Because as for you, Abantu Venuavo, they are a bunch of disgruntled and confused individuals who do not even know the direction that they are heading to, because they are behaving like like headless chickens. Thank you so much, Mama.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. We take all calls, we listen to all views, Please make your calls. I can see there were a lot of calls. Keep on calling so that we hear more views before we
and
close.
confirm us bringing $1.5 billion. We, our group alone, and we met different people, collectively we came up with a figure. I will give you just a summary so that we can preempt the questions, because some people ask questions. In estimate, I don't want to say much, I'm conservative, that's how God makes us different. But conservatively, a 20.
Good day, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Yeah, my brother Wamwamba is Chilufia Patrick.
Okay, Bachulufia, good evening, good day.
Good day, Wamwamba. You know, I was just listening to the other caller. I think he's allowed to have his own opinion. I think what I wanted to comment on Ramwamba is on the issue of Lakateka being given another 5 years. You know, I for one, I supported, you know that Ramwamba, how I supported this man.
Oh yeah, you supported him to the hilt, yeah.
Yes. And so...
Why wouldn't you give him a second term?
No.
Why wouldn't you?
I'll explain to you, Ramwamba.
Okay.
That's why for me, I'm praying that... Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm praying that the opposition get organized. And you remember last time I said, should the opposition get organized, we need to have a social contract. And put them in one place and say, guys, let's have a social contract, no manifesto. And let's talk about how we're going to solve the problems, some of the challenges this country is facing going forward, and especially the mining sector, because Zambia will only develop through the mining sector and nothing else, not in Congolese. So giving him second term, I don't think he deserves a second term, because leaders are not judged by how long they serve or they rule the country. Leaders are judged by the decisions they are making, by their actions, by their choices. And true leaders make every decision or choices in national interest. They are patriotic. So, Bamwamba, I was a card-carrying member of the UPND. The moment our president started making funny decisions and choices, I decided to resign because I don't want to be sold with them. And I wrote to my chairman here in the UK the reasons why I was resigning, and then proud to giving KCM back and Mopani, I wrote to the president, and I even wrote to his personal secretary, Bradford Machila. We agreed that I was going to see the president when I arrived in Zambia. When I arrived in Zambia, Bradford stopped answering my calls. I wanted to discuss with him the Mopani issue. I didn't want Zambia to give back Mopani, to sell Mopani. We could have run Mopani ourselves, had ideas. And then KCM, we shouldn't have given KCM back to them the way it went. We should have increased the sales at least up to 50%. Because these guys steal from us. So the moment the president made that decision on Mopani, KCM, I decided to resign from the party. Those decisions, KCM, Mopani, they were not made in the best interest of Zambia.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not the only one who has complained about that. You know, to start with, how did the executive got involved in the sale of Mopani? Because Mopani was supposed to be sold by Resignation. Where did the third company come from? So there was no transparency, there was no accountability. And where there is no transparency and accountability, there is likely going to be corruption. The problems we are facing in the Copper Belt are as a result of the mistakes the president made. The problems we're having at KCM now, being in the process of being liquidated, are the problems the president, the mistakes the president made. How did they give back Mopani when they knew that the owners of Mopani cannot even borrow in the UK? They were owing South African banks a lot of money. They should have done a due diligence. Why didn't the Mopani go through parliament? So the moment you start seeing a president making unilateral decision, then you know that you are in trouble. And the president is a custodian of the people's assets. He is not the owner. So what the president does is make decisions in the best interest of the owners of those assets. He's just a custodian. He's a steward. He's a guardian. But our president looks like he's the owner of the assets. And based on some of these decisions, agro oil and everything, we cannot allow this man to continue. He's not good for Zambians. He's not a servant leader. He's not a people-centric leader. He's not a steward of the people. I rest my case.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
$5.8 billion broken down. I said to them, we cannot run an economy with load shedding. Malaita yenda, ufupika yenda, mwana afu study, malaita yenda. We will want to fix electricity so that we end load shedding in the shortest possible time after taking office. We got a pledge of $5.4 billion just to bring green energy to cut out load shedding. Mining remains very important. There's a lot of things we need to do there. $6.3 billion. If you want 24.4%. Infrastructure. And I'll tell you what infrastructure is. Different from what you are thinking. Airports, which is what these Chipande people in PF are doing. You cannot develop and spend $350 million in an airport when only 4 or 5 planes land there in a day. What are you doing? You must be crazy. What PF is doing is crazy. It's near madness, to be honest. So I said, we need to open up national parks. Basic infrastructure is needed there. 1 kilometer of a concrete runway.
My dear brother,
and a room like
let
this
me mute the president.
is basically what.
Yeah, please tell us your name and your contributions.
Ambassador Mwamba, good evening. Is it evening where you are?
Greet me from your time.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
How are you today? How are you doing there?
Oh, very well, very well.
Okay. There's one among the Mona. Can't say name Mutawa.
Uza muntu wako yafuna upaya bali bonse. But you come and face him. You come and face him. You are like you support him. You are part of the alliance.
No, we are law-abiding citizens.
Kuti Mukosa, you are part of the UPND alliance, so you can never be arrested. You.
How can I be arrested when I
Hey, when you are UPND, you don't break any law.
Let me contribute to your program.
Yeah, quickly do so because we are about to end. Yes. Thank you, Mr. Mukosa.
You know the problem we have in this country with you people who are calling yourselves politicians, more especially in our PF, is that whatever this government does, even in drama mwezofuna wapange drama monga azana, you have not accepted or realized that Zambian people on 12th August in 2021 changed the government, and everything is done in a different manner anyway. That you must understand. Don't just think always whatever government does, no. Drama mwene ziri zija, ile mwene wanazipangira. Na mwezi munapanga dai piano. That's what you must understand. We know that you concentrated much, where you saw something written in Tonga. When all the notes have got this heritage written on them. But because of my politics, the politics that you people in opposition, most especially my PF, you people that are condemning this government and call it as a failed government because it has not done all the things that they promised. When you had 10 years, 10 years, you did not manage to series about 20 years, but you want your friends, your fellow citizens, who have just been in power for 3.5 years to complete or to series amavuto yonse. Are you being fair to yourself, or are you being fair to the Zambian people? The answer is no. You are talking about Mupani. No, Mupani is what? No, Mupani is what? You as PF, you failed to find an equity partner for 4 years. 4 years. Today you are saying the government wanasokoneza kupasa abantu bena. Mazambians wezofunika ndiyo bananinga that mine. Why Mazambians wezoraninga ma mine yacha? For those years ya mwezo sakla equity partner. Why? You fail. Then instead of looking kuti musirize ma court cases mupeze njira yoti mine yambe kusebenza, what did you do? You had to take Milungo there to go and liquidate the mine. What does that mean? Meaning going there to close the mine and sell off everything. That's liquidation. But today, because the government, the current government decided to sit it down, like the way the president was saying that we cannot continue mining, we cannot be mining in the courts. Mining is done at the mine site. They had to sit it down instead of continue with this. If you are saying you are able to mine, can you go back and start mining? The people of Copper Belt need money to survive. And those mines, the one that
my dear brother, quickly wind up. There are other calls, as you can hear in the background. As you can hear, there are other calls in the background. Quickly wind up.
Yes, I'm concluding. If there is any challenges to the investors that are running these mines, those are the challenges that we need to talk about, how to go about them to make sure that they are doing a right thing. Not condemning the government by bringing those people. I think there we need to understand that as Zambians, we need to mine there and we need to get those minerals so that we can at least better our nation. When you talk about Vamarilo, we know you, even Ruben at some point, told you PF members that you need to use the funerals to mobilize the PF. So whatever was happening there, did it in our and everywhere, all the speeches that were looking like it is against what, we know that you did that. Even in the videos that we are showing that by UPND Wapangandeo, there was no Ndeo, no one went now Nana Menyamuntukuch.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. Thank you very much. Mr. Mkosa, a dear brother, a friend of mine. He belongs to the other side, but we have to accommodate all views. He's speaking as a Zambian, and we have to allow him to speak as such. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Okay.
In fact, I just want to respond again to Mr. X from Eastern Provinces. I don't know if it is Cardinal you respond. But especially when he said even during Mwanawasa, but you can't compare Mwanawasa and YHH. You remember very well you were talking about Mwanawasa was quoted a lot of names because the man was tolerant. He was democratic. Because of Suminishava to Kulan Defing on how she should govern. Actually, but under the current government, you can't tell them to say what you are doing is not a good thing. They would rather Bakukaka or Bakutamfia Mucharota or Sangwa. How do you expect Kutiwata to improve? He also talked about if in the Filashupa when Mwanawasa was the president, there was what they were calling tighten the belt to say, gentlemen as Zambians, because of these conditions, let's tighten our belts for us to reach what they were calling epic completion, isn't it, Bamwamba? They often.
Yes, yes.
So there was light at the end of the tunnel to say once we does this, we are going to have this. Ama Zambians they are going to want to cancel all our debts, meaning we will have free people. Our money will be just circulating in Zambia. Now talk about this government. When they were coming into power, they said this PF has borrowed a lot of money. We'll make sure that we will stop borrowing. How much have Nishinga Bakongole Bamwamba, if you had to ask the question?
Yona bakongola. Necho bakula po. Bane, quickly wind up. There's another call. Let's see how we can accommodate the last 2, 3, 4 calls before I wind up. Thank you, my brother, for your contribution.
Technology has changed. It's your tower. You don't need huge towers. That's where one put them on, to open up the national parks.
Good evening. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening. Tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Driver from Western Province, Ipata.
Yes, my dear brother. Make your contribution.
Okay, contribution. Panono. Mr. Mwamba, tuwele go kunuma. Twaramba fati time yaba MMD. Time yaba MMD. Ariko ma project obashi. Ba MMD bashire fumapo. Ba PF tabashire konti nyopati ya ma project. Narampera ko chakumwena ko ku North Western Mfumbwe district abantu nalesambiro ka bombo. Tokuja kwa reporting na nomba taira bwa imbewali kusha nomba lini hapa so washe council so iyo nabika palire mwataranda tawe ama project ya mo shanshani and futi ba PF kwadi fye rubati rumo eko bale bombera sana pachukwa sharoku na nomba imiseweta kwabo bati umurusaka yes kuma kuba bemba oko shabo imisebo bwino fi batinga mwarolesha ku Western Province takwaba ku North Western takwaba Eastern Province inone muno mwende fe muchipata batukwa shara takwaba schools nayo same fi bati abantu bareranda tawe filiso nabo twara posa ku kuma fiwe one fyashara mama mtifyo mwaisangire barishinga baramwa fiweo yari pa 5 kwacha ntire 5 kushinta pari 9 kwacha yapitire 10 iyo bati bapye fura time washire sanga washire ifisha pashani pa 17 kwacha so ipintu fira chinja every time the time mwali abaye chimwali mwemwe mutimwe the time mwareshitira pusopo mwareshitira pwefinshi but yes quite alright tindana na tawe tabarerufyanye ku fintu fimo aho barerufyanye but kuri fimo kiri bwino bara posa ukadalizim oware tereka dalizim ali ni rupia banda ngandande fi aba mwana wasa chiruba tabashifya makadalizim but oware tereka dalizim ali ni rupia banda dide barerwa na sata kwashire pita futi kadalizim yashire konkanyapo ukona urendara ma ukushitashani fidia. So
my dear brother from Chipata, I'm trying to take some few calls before we close at the hour. Kindly quickly wind up.
No, not a problem.
Then wind up, Mutwandi.
So abantu tashire bakalipa sana. Teba PF but naba UPND bamutashire bakalipa sana. And echirerenga babuti baranda atitare bomba. Bantu amakadalizim takuti. Abantu barerira through kadalizim.
kuingira ntchito yali through catetism but apa catetism takuti avenge etowererandira titarebumba but oini wokufunyako fyuwewo yes naidura but ifyashihara fimwe fimo fili fyobwino
ngobunga
ubunga yes quite right ubunga
load shedding
mira kuna ku Eastern province takwa load shedding ipusheni wali bonse
oh yo mwadishuka mwe wantu beso
ipusheni na papene fitana ngompange vito maramu na mara itoko ya
fiwa omleshta kuingoko kumala umulebu tukila
tekubutira kumalawi mfweni abana aba bashitobunga muno mukeza mukatani raini bashitobunga muno mudambe kuti wali kumalawi
on butter system. Yo, Bande, thank you very much. Let me just take the other cause. You are my mbuya to give you more time. Let me take the other cause, then we can see how we wind up the program, and then we invite you to yet another program on Wednesday. Thank you. Make your calls and make your contributions before we close the program. Thank you for all the calls, and I'm glad that our brothers and from the new media team of the UPND are beginning to work. I can see there are callers such as this one and that of Mr. Mukosa. Let's have a reasonable debate. Mr. Mukosa, for example, did not state the truth. Even this caller is talking about that we built roads in areas that are favorable to the PF. That's not true. Have you been on the Serenje Mpika Road? Have you been on the Mpika Kasama Road? Have you been on the Serenje Tutwa Road? Have you been on those roads? And yet the PF was building the most expensive road projects in Southern Africa. The Mongu Kalabo Road, they did the Mongu Senanga Road, they did the Mongu Sesheke Road, they did a new bridge at Sesheke. In fact, some of the largest projects that were done, infrastructure projects, were done in Southern Province and in Western Province. So I laugh, for example, when Charles Milupi is saying, no, we are doing the Mongu Limulunga Road because the PF neglected the roads. But if you look, the PF neglected, you would say the PF neglected Kaoma Lukulu Road. Yes, but what about the roads that were done? And especially the Mongu Kalabo Road. So let me take your last phone calls. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Nilibwino ndiwe ndani muntu wanga.
John Mwanza kuno kwatu kuchatiza.
Okay, kambanko naimwe.
Tameni funo kamba chakuti watu ambili yangu kamba kuti no we are coming from Eastern Province. Ni waboza watu wachoka kwao kupata watu mu Eastern Province. Pamene waona kuti zitu background sizili bwino. Vantu akumangiwa every day. Usakambe yankaramunga ni ku Zimbabwe manje ukakamba wakumanga so that vantu angarezi tizivomekeza voipa vonse. Imwe vantu amene munachokapo please pitwani mphepo kumangiwa kwa chiramu mu Zambia vareka manje kusevenza vaikanzeru kumanga vantu country vaononga ndalama zamene vanapanga sizooneka mutu wake bwino. Ifeti amikira pitirizane ya Emmanuel Mwamba please musamverekeza amene vakamba vantu avayayi ziko.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, so I was just disputing some of the facts that were stated. My dear brother Mukosa from the UPND says PF was looking for an equity partner for Mopani for 4 years. That's not true. Mopani was owned by Glencore. Glencore invested $4.5 billion into that mine. They built brand new shafts. They were not looking for an equity partner. Only when the FBI and the Serious Frauds Office in London were after them did they begin to sell. And they completed that sale in 2020. So where is the 4 years, Wamkosa? Get your facts right. Even on KCM, when did we make decisions? On KCM 2019. So to say that they were looking for an equity partner is not true. In fact, a lot of experts, like Patrick Chilufya, who supported President Hakainde Hichilema, was saying he was very excited that by the time President Hakainde Hichilema was coming into office, Both mines, KCM and Mopani, were owned by the Zambian government 100%. It was an opportunity with the EV batteries that are due to come for us to leverage that wealth to the benefit of our country. Let me take another call before I'm watching the time. I want us to close at 21:30. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Oh, it's just connecting. It's just connecting. Okay, sorry for all those that were calling. Just inbox me on that same number. We'll be able to read the messages, and maybe my technician can flash them, or you can contribute on Facebook. The debate can go under the timelines there. Let's follow the debate. We can continue. So as we close, there is this which we affirm for our country, that there is a type of a country we want for ourselves, the Zambia we want. The national anthem tells us that we should stand and sing of a Zambia that is proud and that is free. A country ruled by instilling fear is not a land of the free. It is not a country that is safe or peaceful or secure for you and me and our families. We want a country that is admired, not a country that is feared. We want a country that our forefathers and foremothers dreamt of. A country that Harry Mwangankumbula hoped for. A country that Kenneth David Kaunda prayed for. A country that Simon Monsaka Pwepwe wished for. A country that Zambians have been fighting for from periods from 1890, 1912, when we formed the first welfare association for Africans, and we wanted the views of Africans included. This was in 1912 in Mwenzo, where Edith Nawakwi was born, near Nakonde. In 1935, the first industrial strike held simultaneously for 9 days in Luansha and Dola, Mufulira, Kitwe, and Chingola, where we lost 65 of our miners who were caught up in because the government had to bring in soldiers from Lusaka to come and quell that protest. That strike is very, very significant because this was a period of no phones, no modern telecommunication. Even a letter, if you write it, it took many days, and our people were being monitored. But they held this strike simultaneously, and that was the beginning of the birth of the first trade union, or organized form of trade unions. 1948, first political party, and Katilungu and others also formed the forerunner to ZCTU, the trade union. 1953, despite the agitation, we became a federal state with Nyasaland and Southern Rhodesia, Zimbabwe. But Harry Mwangankumbula took over the party, the ANC that was formed in 1948, transformed to the African National Congress. He took it over from Godwin Mbikustalewanika, who later became the Litunga and who was found a member of the first political party in our country. 1963, the fighting was heightened and we were divorced from the federal state. 1964, we became independent. 1968, we saw the height of multi-party democracy and intra-party politics, where even Simon Monsaka Pwepwe defeated the candidate of vice president in UNIP for Kaunda. 1973, sad period, we go into a one-party participatory democracy, and for 17 years, we live under that autocracy, and it had to take Frederick Chiluba, Akashamba Twambikusta, Mbita Chitala, Edith Nawakwi, and others to help restore Zambia back to multi-party state, and to have an incumbent leader lose power in 1991 and hand it over peacefully in a peaceable manner to a leader of the opposition. We saw that repeat itself in 2011 and 2021. We want a country that our faith leaders from the Zambia Conference of Catholic Bishops, the CCZ, the EFZ and others pray for. They are always praying for Zambia. They're always praying for our leaders. There is a vision of the country they envisage, and that's the Zambia that we should all look for. We want a country that is not yoked to tyranny, that is not yoked to dictatorship. A country not with leaders who think that they are kings and they are emperors and they think that they can lord over us. No, they are servants and we are the masters. Our country is endowed with natural resources, natural wealth, our national parks, with our wildlife, not in zoos, in their natural sanctuaries. And to date, we still have retained some of, for example, the big five, and some of the same wildlife, even if it's being depleted. We literally are a beautiful country with magical waterfalls. A friendly people. Some people say we are among the most friendliest people in the world. And we have an enviable heritage. 73 of us, we've never gone to war. We've never had 73 ethnic tribes, ethnic groupings. We've never gone to war, despite our diversity. We've never had civil conflict. We've never had, rebellions in our country. Our country has been kept together, we thank God. So we have an enviable heritage. We desire a country where it is possible to be prosperous, whether you were born in the village, whether you were born in the township, whether you were born in a small town like myself, whether you were born in a city. We want a country where you can thrive. That this is only possible if we craft an education system that gives knowledge, that empowers, that gives life and survival skills, that is not yoked to foreign values, but our own values. We want a leadership that runs an economy that promotes entrepreneurship, innovations, an economy that is in the hands of Zambians, an economy that is not yoked to multinationals and foreign entities, an economy run by Zambians, an economy where hard work rewards. Not umuntu ala bomba, what do they take back home? Ala bomba yoked to debt. Ala bomba can't survive literally the whole month without borrowing. No, that's not the country we want. We want, when you work hard, that hard work should reward, you should be rewarded for your hard work. And where your potential should not be limited. We want a country where housing is decent. We want a country where jobs are decent and can earn you a living. God bless our country, Zambia. God bless our people. And God save whoever is messing with our country. See you on Wednesday, and God bless you.
Meetings, and I say, hey, HH, we meet many African politicians. We don't hear them present themselves the way you have. We know you are credible. Your party is credible. We support you. We're with you. And we pledge, one group alone, my friend, pledged $1.5 billion of investment. And they said, HH, let's take notes. It was sworn in today. Within 10 days, we'll announce and confirm us bringing $1.5 billion. We, our group alone. And we met different people. Collectively, we came up with the figures. I will give you just a summary so that we can preempt the questions. Because some people will ask questions. In estimate, I don't want to say much. I'm conservative. That's how God made me. God makes us different. But conservatively, the $25.8 billion broken down, I said to them, we cannot run an economy with load shedding. Malaiti ayenda, ufunopika ayenda, mwana after study, malaiti ayenda. We will want to fix electricity so that we end load shedding in the shortest possible time after taking office. We got a pledge of $5.4 billion just to bring green energy to cut out load shedding. Mining remains very important. There's a lot of things we need to do there. $6.3 billion if you want 24.4%. Infrastructure. And I'll tell you what infrastructure is. Different from what you are thinking. Airports, which is what these Chipante people in PF are doing. You cannot develop and spend $350 million in an airport when only 4 or 5 planes landed in a day. What are you doing? You must be crazy. What PF is doing is crazy. It's near madness, to be honest. So I said we need to open up national parks. Basic infrastructure is needed there. 1 kilometer of a concrete runway. And a room like this is basically your tower. Technology has changed. It's your tower. You don't need huge towers. That's where we want to put them in, to open up the national parks.
This is DJ Mutati exclusive.
Alright, that's all for you today, lovely viewers. If you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about the video you just watched in the comment section below. I'll be super glad to hear from you, lovely viewers. Once again, I go by the name of Mutati Mpundu. I love you, peace, I gotta go.